Hare Krishna. So we are at the last phase of Bhagavad Gita. So last week we studied from chapter 18, text 5 is where we ended. We will start from there. So 1875, Sanjaya is speaking. He says, by the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. So this is a very important significance because Krishna, although directly accessible, but he's far more understandable when it is through the medium of a guru or his representative. As chapter 4, Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam, that this knowledge is accessible through the parampara system, Guru, Shishya, Parampara, right? Shishya becomes Guru, Guru creates Shishya, becomes Guru. So like that, this parampara has been coming for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And through this process, we are able to access the knowledge that has been given by Krishna. Now, in this case, Vyasadeva gave the Divya Chakshu to Vyasadeva gave the Divya Chakshu to Sanjaya, and thus Sanjaya was able to see the entire Bhagavad Gita, or see and hear the entire Bhagavad Gita as it was spoken by Krishna to Arjuna. So we're very fortunate. We also have access to that because Vyasadeva also was watching the same episode as this is happening live, and he was writing it down. Sanjay is watching, Vyasadeva is writing this down. So simultaneously, multiple live streams were going on, and we also have access to the notes from the live stream, and that's the Bhagavad Gita. So as we have come to the end, so Sanjay has been narrating this the whole time, and now he's giving his gratitude to his guru Vyasa, that I have heard this most confidential talks between the master of all mysticism, Krishna, Yogeshwar, right? Master of all mysticism, because Krishna is known for his mystic power. So what is Yogeshwar? It's not magic. It's the power of yoga. What is power of yoga? Krishna can practically do anything. He can change time. He can, teleport himself. He can change the motions of the sun and the moon. He can do anything. So master of all mysticism, right? That is Krishna. So we talk about miracles. There are many people who are very good at that. Yogis who can do a lot of Anuma, Laghima, they can become very small, they can become very big, they can become light, they can become heavy, they can do a lot of different things. But Krishna is the master of all mysticism. And that's what's being addressed. So as we have seen in the entire Bhagavad Gita, the name by which Krishna is referred to in every verse has a significance. Whether it's Janardana or Keshava or Krishna, or however he is being referred to, has a particular significance. So here he is being referred to as the master of all mysticism. So because it says Krishna's instruction is explicitly stated in Bhagavad Gita, surrender to Krishna. One who does so is a topmost yogi. This is confirmed in the last verse of the 6th chapter, Yoginam api sarvesham. Right. So whether it's Gyan Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, or Karma Yoga, or Bhakti Yoga, the entire yogic process, the Ashtanga Yoga process is what I was talking about, Anuma, Laghima, and all that. Ashtanga, 8 limbs of yoga. But then we are not going in that direction because this is Kali Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga is the most relevant. And Krishna is being called the master of all mysticism, which includes the various yoga sutras. And it's being said that he's sharing his gratitude, that he is able to hear this very, very confidential conversation between Krishna and Arjuna before this great battle. 1876. Rajan samasmritya samvadam imam abhutam Keshava Arjuna punyam Rishyami cha muhurmuhu. O king, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjun, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. So not only has he witnessed and heard this great message between Krishna and Arjun, he's repeating and recalling this repeatedly in his mind, and that is what we should also do. So now that we have completed the Bhagavad Gita, as we go through life, we should let these messages repeat in our minds and allow it to inspire us and rejuvenate us when we struggle, when we go through difficulties. Right after hearing the Bhagavad Gita, a few days later, as the war starts, Arjun loses his son and he becomes depressed again. And again, the Bhagavad Gita message, along with Krishna being personally there, Krishna reminds him that this does not suit you. Get up and fight, right? So he needs to be reminded. So it's important that we be reminded, because by default, we hear motivational talks and then we fall, from that motivational state. So it is constantly, we need reminder, we need to regurgitate what we have heard so that we can apply that and not let that fire die down. So just like Sanjaya is stating that he is repeating the Bhagavad Gita, whatever he has heard repeatedly, we must also from here on repeatedly recall, go back to the Bhagavad Gita chapters, the verses, read them, relish them, apply them, remember them, share that with others. When we share, we remember more. And as you heard from Krishna, one who shares the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita with others becomes most dear to Krishna. So there is nobody more dear to Krishna than the person who shares this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to others. And that is one of the most inspiring verses of the Bhagavad Gita, as far as I'm concerned, because I have the great privilege of sharing the Bhagavad Gita with all of you. And I really, really hope by your blessings that Krishna finds me somewhat dear, right? That would be wonderful. That would be the success of all this. So he's saying, I take pleasure being thrilled at every moment. So this Bhagavad Gita is not just a bland book. It's a, conversation between two friends that is thrilling, right? We watch thriller movies, right? Because there's always twists and turns at every moment. And there is, here is some protagonist moving in this direction, the story, the plot, everything keeps you on your toes. So you feel that intellectual and mental turbulence, and we enjoy that. And that is the Bhagavad Gita, right? Arjun starts with depression. Then he's asking questions. Krishna's giving answers. He asks again. There's all these conversations about karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, etc., etc. Then Krishna talks about himself. He shows himself who he is, the Vishwarup form in chapter 11, right? And he talks about bhakti. He talks about how those who are dear to him are never lost to him, and they're never lost to him. So like that, he brings it very accessible. He makes it very easy. That if you can't do this, do this. If you can't do that, do that. If you can't do that, then here is. So there's all inclusivity. You don't have to be the topmost, person in the yogic ladder. You can be whoever you are, and there is a starting point for you. There is a set of activities that you can do to purify your consciousness, to uplift yourself and move up the yoga ladder, right? So it's very encouraging. It's very thrilling, as Sanjay is stating. So it's a book that, although we have now finished it and you have access to all the recordings, you must go back, hear them, right? Watch the recordings, read the verses, and go deeper into it, and share the realizations in Philosophy Friday group. Share the realizations with your friends, family, whoever is open to hearing. Don't talk to people who might, be not happy with this, because this causes unnecessary trouble. But those who are eager to hear the message of Bhagavad Gita, do share it with them. Then Sanjaya states, Tach cha samasmritya rupam ati adbhutam hare vishmayo me mahan rajan harishyami cha puna puna. O king, I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna. I am struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again. So not only is the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, the words of Krishna that are thrilling to him, but also Krishna's beautiful form, his wonderful form. He's struck by that and with wonder more and more, and he's rejoicing again and again, right? The words use samasmritya, samasmritya, and he says puna puna, right? Repeatedly, he's rejoicing in harishami. Harishami means rejoice is a word like where your hair is standing on end. So he's experiencing ecstasy, joy, extreme joy, just by remembering Krishna's wonderful form as he's narrating this to Dhritarashtra. 1878. Now, this is the ultimate realization that Sanjaya has after the Bhagavad Gita has been spoken. So we all have some realization, some things that have touched our heart from the entire Bhagavad Gita being spoken. But this is Sanjaya's realization. And this is a very, very powerful verse, absolutely worth memorizing. He says, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partha Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Sharir Vijayo Bhutir, Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, Dhanurdhara, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. So it is important to understand, by coming to spiritual life, we don't miss out on anything. The misconception is that you go to spiritual life when you're old, when you're about to die, when life is over. No. Spiritual life, just like we offer Krishna fresh flowers, so we should offer ourselves to Krishna when we are fresh, when we are young, right? And throughout our life, we can continue to be at Krishna's lotus feet and learn and grow and purify our existence and help others become purified, right? So the point is that Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, wherever there's Yogeshwar Krishna, and wherever there is Dhanurdhar Arjuna, that place there shall always be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. So generally, opulence, victory, these things are mode of passion, right? Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, they win, a lot of money, a lot of power, opulence, victory, extraordinary power. And they often come with immorality. Sometimes you have to be sometimes immoral to attain those things. But that's not what is being spoken here. He said all of this, along with morality, is present where there is Krishna and Arjuna. And where is Krishna and Arjuna present? In the form of the Bhagavad Gita, through their conversation. So I'm hoping all of us have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita at home, and Krishna and Arjuna is present in literary form in that Bhagavad Gita. So wherever there is the Bhagavad Gita, wherever there's a knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, wherever there's a recitation of Bhagavad Gita, wherever there's application of Bhagavad Gita, there is opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality, right? Opulence, that means materially there will be no less, nothing. You will have plenty of everything. Srila Prabhupada, when he was starting ISKCON, it was only a bunch of hippies that Prabhupada had, and hippies don't have money. So Prabhupada was living in a small quarter, and he had a small storefront. That was the first ISKCON temple, which is still today there in 26 2nd Avenue in New York City. And one day Srila Prabhupada decided, why not have a festival? And it was just a Sunday. And he asked Brahmananda Prabhu that go get a big signboard with letters that I can put on it, like customizable letters. And Brahmananda Prabhu said, Prabhupada, that would cost $50. We only have like $150 and we have to pay rent. Prabhupada said, just listen to your guru. And so hearing that, Brahmananda Prabhu went and got a little board. And in that board, all these letters, Prabhupada said, put the letters, Sunday Love Feast, so and so time, right? So he put the board and he put Sunday Love Feast, and I think put 7 p.m. or something like that. And Prabhupada went into the kitchen and asked the devotees, he's like, how much rice do we have? They said, Prabhupada, we have 20 pounds of rice. How much dal do we have? We have 20 pounds of dal. Okay, how much potatoes? How much this? So there was plenty of food. So then Prabhupada, the devotees were getting scared, like, oh God, all the food's going to run out. People are coming to eat. So Srila Prabhupada started his lecture. And he said, how many of you at home can say you have 20 pounds of rice, 20 pounds of dal, so much vegetables, so much this? But look at us. We are nothing, just a bunch of hippies, but we have so much opulence. None of you have so much money to feed so many people, but we do. Although we have nothing, Krishna has given us so much. And not only Srila Prabhupada fed all of those people who came, but all those people give donations out of gratitude. And so whatever little money was spent for that little board, Brahmananda Prabhu was getting scared that there'd be no money for rent. The coffers filled up with more money, right? And there was plenty of money to do this every single Sunday. And till that day, since that day till today, every Sunday in every temple, ISKCON temple around the world, we have around 700 plus ISKCON temples, right? There's a Sunday Love Feast happening. Some places it happens on Saturday, but free food for whoever attends the Sunday program gets dinner for free. So Prabhupada started it, and it's been continuing. So that's opulence. One time Srila Prabhupada was questioned by some journalists that, you are a Swami, but there is so many cars that are there in this temple. There are 5 cars. Prabhupada said, 5 cars? Come to our Germany temple. There are not only cars, there are buses also. In some temples in Hawaii, we have boats also. There are hundreds of cars we have in ISKCON. There are so many temples. Each temple has so many cars, so many buses. Some have bullock carts, some have boats. There are hundreds of cars, hundreds of this, hundreds of that. Prabhupada kept on bragging. The journalist was trying to say, oh, you're a sannyasi, you should be a beggar. Prabhupada went in the opposite direction. And he said, so much opulence, but you guys are all envious. You're working so hard all day, all night, and you can't have the opulence we have. And we are just beggars, but we are surrendered to Krishna. And look how Krishna has given us such a big house to live in, so many cars, so many devotees, so much prasadam that not only we are eating, we are feeding all of you also, right? So that is the glory of Krishna. If you really think about it, today ISKCON feeds, I think, some 20 lakhs people every single day just in India. And Food for Life, outside India, it's crazy. In Ram Mandir, Ayodhya, every single day, thousands of people are getting free food. And not just like khichdi, right? It's like wet sabji, dry sabji, puris, rice, different kinds of dal, sweets, everything. So what is this? It is opulence. Now people will say, oh, foreigners are giving money. No, foreigners don't give money to ISKCON. ISKCON doesn't get any money from foreigners, because the foreigners we attract are still hippies. So they don't have money. It's actually the Indians who are donating abroad, right? And in India, nothing comes from outside. In fact, Indian money goes outside a lot of times. Somebody wants to build a temple, we might give. But that whole conception that foreign money comes to ISKCON is not true at all. There's no money to give. The temples, if you go outside India, they're very, very small, very much struggling. But there is no, it might be struggling, but nothing has stopped ever. There's enough for everyone. Not only for the devotees, but whoever comes gets prasad, right? All festivals happen. Rath Yatra happens in all the temples. Janmashtami happens in all the temples. And hundreds of people are fed. Hundreds and hundreds of people are taken care of, right? So everything is going on. How? Even during pandemic, when there was no donation, nothing, no darshan, temples were closed, still things were going on. Not only going on, we were feeding people. We were, those old senior citizens who couldn't, go anywhere. Our devotees were, giving them boxes of hot prasadam every day at their doors. right? So even when there was no donation, no temples, Krishna was providing. So that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness. When you are under Krishna's protection, don't worry. As business owners, most of us go through ups and downs. Sometimes revenue is good, sometimes revenue is not so good, sometimes good season, sometimes down season. But regardless of all that, Krishna is there. And that is very important to understand, because wherever there's Krishna and Arjun, that means the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, there is opulence. There is victory. We will win. Short term, we might not win. Long term, we would definitely win. Extraordinary power. People will ask, what are you doing? How are you getting this? How can this be possible? Miracles will happen in your lives. So many of you write to me. And I'm so grateful that I live to see every single day wonderful miracles happening in your lives. And honestly, it strengthens my faith. For the last 15 years, I have been teaching the Bhagavad Gita in the US and then eventually in India. And every single day, my life has been, glorified in one sense, where I get to see Krishna's mercy in action in the lives of devotees, right? And eventually it just becomes such a normal thing that miracles don't even feel like miracles. They feel like, yeah, Krishna's sense of humor, or Krishna's kindness, or Krishna's compassion. Oh, look, Krishna's flirting with this devotee. And you just get used to it, right? But we should not get used to it, because we should realize that we are so privileged to be in such a fortunate place where we are under the protection when the whole world is in a war, when everybody is going to hell, in a sense, not like hell, but like, so many difficulties, financial issues, this, that. As devotees, we are blissful, we are protected, we feel sheltered. And that is great fortune. We should not take it for granted. We should make others who are not so fortunate, who are depressed, who are going through difficulties, allow them to have access to this wonderful Krishna consciousness, right? That is our goal. So the Bhagavad Gita ends with this verse and with the realization of our wonderful Sanjaya, who's glorifying Krishna, glorifying Arjun, and glorifying the output of Bhagavad Gita. So we have all studied the Bhagavad Gita together, and I pray that our lives also get filled with opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and most importantly, morality. Because morality is important, that is lacking in Kali Yuga, right? We do a lot of good things, but sometimes, at the cost of being immoral. All right, I'll end here, and I'll see if you want to share something of your realizations from the Bhagavad Gita, from all these verses that you have studied. If there's any gratitude, sharing, or any sweetness that you have experienced by applying the Bhagavad Gita principles, if you want to share, now is the time. Please feel free to unmute and share your heart.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Please accept my humble obeisances. Always to Prabhupada.
Prabhuji, just one thing. Thank you so much for transforming my life with Bhagavad Gita. I am indebted to you in so many ways.
Well, that's all him. The divine couple, they're doing it. I'm just the mouthpiece. But I'm grateful that your life has transformed. And congratulations on all the wonderful things that are happening in your life.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
So those of you who don't know, Yogesh Prabhu recently got married. And I hope all of you can pray for him having a happy life, Krishna conscious life with his newlywed wife. They're living in California. And I hear Yogesh has been well taken care of. So wonderful that this wonderful phase of your life you may enjoy and have both help each other become devotees of Krishna. That's the fulfillment of any relationship. Okay.
Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prayash Prabhu.
I would say the exact same thing as Yogesh Prabhu said. I'm extremely grateful to have, to get knowledge about Bhagavad Gita from you. And like all the transformations happened after I came in contact with you. So like really grateful for whatever you have done for me and all of us. So really grateful, Prabhu.
I'm grateful for your association. I've also learned a lot from you. You have been very attentive, very, you retain knowledge very nicely. It's inspiring when nobody asks questions or shares anything. You always have been supportive that way. And that gives the speaker more impetus to go forward. So thank you for your sustained, enthusiastic participation in the Bhagavad Gita classes.
I mean, all glories to you, Prabhu, for taking the classes
Hmm.
so that we could join.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Anything in
Hare Krishna,
glorification?
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Tanmay Prabhu.
Pradeep, myself Pradeep. Actually, my nephew changed the name and I didn't see that.
Yes, Prabhu, please tell.
I joined the Bhagavad Gita class from chapter 30, but from that chapter means the journey from that पूरा लाइफ चेंज हो गया है. इवन लाइफ चेंज नहीं मैं बोल सकता. मुझे जो लोग एक साल पहले मिले थे और अब मिलते हैं वो बोलते हैं कि क्या चेंज हो गया है. यानी उनसे मुझे एक तरह से एक्नॉलेजमेंट मिलती है कि चेंज हो गया है कुछ. यानी मैं खुद पे अगर बिलीव नहीं करूँ तो लोग तो मुझे बोलते ही रहते हैं कि बहुत चेंज हो गया है. और पॉजिटिव चेंजेस है. यानी लाइफ के हर एस्पेक्ट में चेंजेस है. यानी मैं बता नहीं सकता इतने सारे चेंजेस. थैंक यू प्रभु जी.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very grateful again to you as well for your active participation, Vrindavan, all the wonderful things. So thank you very much. It's always joyful to share Krishna Katha with the audience that is eager to hear, that reciprocity, it churns the nectar of Krishna consciousness. There is Krishna also says that in chapter 10, that devotees, when they get together, tushyanticha ramanticha, they get satisfied and exhilarated by discussing about my glories. So that nothing like that. I'm very grateful that I have this opportunity. All right.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
I also want to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to you for bringing us into this place, which is such a happy place for us, and a day we look forward to be together and listen to you. And actually, it's true, life has changed. I don't know how, but things have changed. So many things have changed for us. The way we look at things have changed. The way we understand things have changed. The way we accept people, accept things have changed. So, but it's a long way. I mean, I feel I'm just at the beginning and I have to learn a lot more from you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
And looking
Mataji.
forward to attending the Bhagavatam class soon.
Oh, yes. Looking forward to that. Sweetness waiting for us, sweet nectar. Yes, Praveen
And
Prabhu.
Prabhuji,
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yeah,
Hare
please go ahead.
Prabhuji,
please go
one
ahead.
thing to add. Yes, one thing to add that आपने जो नॉलेज शेयर किया वो राइट नॉलेज था. यानी इससे पहले क्या होता था, मैंने बहुत जगह पे कुछ कुछ सुना पर उस पर सेटिस्फेक्शन कभी नहीं मिली या उसमें कुछ चेंजेस नहीं आए लाइफ में. तो ये जो नॉलेज से है उससे चेंजेस रिफ्लेक्ट होने लग गए. यानी वो राइट नॉलेज था. ये एक सैटिस्फैक्टी फील होती है उसकी.
That's a litmus test that this is coming from the Guru Shishya Parampara. That yes, thank you for sharing that, Prabhuji. That sense of satisfaction is a litmus test that yes, we are receiving the right knowledge from the right sources. Absolutely, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Yes, Praveen Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Please
Hare
accept my humble obeisance.
Please accept my humble obeisance.
Prabhu, I think lot of things to share. But yeah, I mean, I think it's 1.5 year where I joined Philosophy Friday classes with the help of Santosh Prabhu. I think I still remember that day when I joined. I mean, my it's like a very passive kind of a participation initially for a few months. So then the way it got transformed in myself, in terms of getting very intensive interactions at time in the classes, most of the time rather. And I really thoroughly enjoyed, Prabhu, the way you deliver the Bhagavad Gita classes. It's no more just a classes. It's a very clear interaction. I mean, very very sweet, joyful journey most of the time it's God loving, it's not fearing. At times, we do get fear. So, I mean, what I really my takeaway is it's a Krishna is all about a God loving. That's the one key takeaway, Prabhu, actually. Most of the times what happens is it's sometimes the fear comes out of it basically. Agar if आप नहीं follow किया तो a fear factor हो जाएगा. But in your classes it's a very unique way of delivering, Prabhu. I really loved it. I think it's the love towards Krishna has become only increasing day by day as I keep hearing you. It's
Wow.
the love towards Krishna is just kept on increasing, Prabhu. I really thanks to you a lot. No words to say. And yeah, I mean, apart from this, as I tried, implementing side by side, the classes happens. I think I personally, seen the reciprocation what Krishna gives. Both the sides, I've experienced both the sides, Prabhu. Actually, it's exactly the reciprocation. It means it actually. If you're very sincere, Krishna does reciprocate accordingly. If you're not so sincere, also you will also get a reciprocation accordingly. But one thing what had stood by me is even at difficult times, I used to get worried a lot earlier. But somewhere now that amazing confidence levels is there, Prabhu. Whether it might be illogical also, but yeah, Krishna is there, so let's go ahead. That's it.
Krishna is also illogically merciful. Logic doesn't work beyond a certain point. So you're at the right place.
Yeah, Prabhu. So I think sorry, I'm just taking few seconds actually, but this is what has happened. The Krishna Janmashtami, what happened in our society was also not small. I mean, not to take a credit, but I could not share with you many of the things. It was actually a kind of a India-Pakistan war, Prabhu, actually, in between. So a lot of people, gone against it and they wanted to stop. They went to ISKCON and then, they threatened and all not to do this and all. But I was very, very calm that, when we keep Krishna at the center, I think let it happen. Hopefully it happened. And it turned out to be a big victory. So, I mean, not to take a materialistic victory, I think the Krishna blessings has been there in my society. Yeah, it's going
Victory is
on
there.
and on.
Victory, all opulence.
Yes, Prabhu. Exactly. Just now from the sloka you said, yes, I think that's already an experience, Prabhu, actually. I think Prabhupada also told, right? I mean, in one of your session. So welcome the danger sometimes, for Krishna. So yeah, at times that also have experienced welcoming the danger. Let's see, Prabhu, how the journey goes. It's not going to stop. Bhagavatam coming, so eagerly waiting for that. Again, one more Vrindavan Yatra already announced. Very, very excited.
Yes.
Again, pray Krishna that I'll get the leave and then join again.
Absolutely, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thanks for helping me to develop the more and more intensive love towards Krishna. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Prabhu.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And one thing that came out from what you said was the fearlessness. And today is my mother and I were having a conversation, and she was talking about, oh, it's Amavasya, be careful. A lot of people do black magic and this, that. And I was like, I've thrown away that fear long, long time ago after I became or I came to Krishna consciousness, because all the rituals, all the superstitions, all the difficult things that we are scared about, I've thrown that into garbage, because I know nothing matters anymore, because I'm under Krishna's protection. And that fearlessness gives me so much freedom, so much joy and confidence to go forward and do whatever I need to do in life. So I totally acquiesce with you 100%, Prabhuji. Yes, Vibhuti Mataji.
Thanks.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी.
हरे कृष्णा माताजी.
मुझे तो बहुत ही कुछ बोलना है. I have to speak a lot. I think I saw an advertisement in Instagram, fear and anxiety, and I just joined it. And that at that time I was in hospital and my husband was getting operated and all. And it's been a long journey with my panic attacks and my anxiety, and continuously listening to these. Some of the classes I was so regenerated and so excited. Yes, I can do it. Then I used to fail. But continuously I've been writing to Krishna whenever I feel like. I have a diary and I speak to him. And if I just turn around the pages of 2 months back or 6 months back, I see the things are getting fulfilled. whatever I pray to him, gradually within months or maybe few days, depending on what I'm asking, so things get fulfilled. And I have a question that, just a second. I have a question that in my mind always, that what is karma? And I have been asking you so many times. So I gradually came to know, just a second, just a second. It's, yeah, second year, third year. I'm just getting. So I got the answer finally. And I have been feeling that whatever is kismat, whatever is destined, but if Krishna has the mercy, it can change. I go to astrologers, I know everything that is going to happen because, like, I believe in him. But I have seen that changing after I pray to Krishna, and that is something miraculous. And what is panic attack and what is anxiety? I don't even know what. That is
Wow,
the journey I have been with you,
amazing.
and God guided me because I am a person who needed some extra help from an outside thing. So I prayed to God that I need something. So I attended some different classes also after I prayed to Krishna that show me the path, that what should I do so that it goes away, because it was beyond the medical thing. So I attended some classes, and just everything is a miracle. And even if my days according to astrology are bad, but I am at ultimate peace, 100 on 100, 10 on 10 peace.
That's the best thing I've heard.
And you said illogically merciful. That is one thing which
Yes,
I want to tell you. That is one sentence that these two words I'll remember because I am feeling that it is there.
absolutely.
Illogical merciful. Really. Even if I'm not praying, I do not chant now. I just think about him every time, as many times, even if I get up in the night, I just think about Hare Krishna, but I do not chant counting, but I chant as much as I can for 1 minute, for 2 minutes, but I do not count and I do not do that round because I don't know, I cannot concentrate. Even if I can concentrate for 2 minutes, I do it for 2 minutes. So I can see the miracles, and I don't think so he needs me to chant like that, like 108, all that, because he
And
understands
that
that
you
I
can't
cannot
say.
concentrate.
That in
My
the
mind
Bhagavad
just,
Gita, he says, I am Japa. Of all yagyas, I am Japa. So Japa, he is recommending it, but
I
it's
am,
okay.
I'm, I'm doing the japa, but I cannot do it on counting.
Okay,
10
you do
minute,
it
20
your way,
minute,
but
108.
Krishna is recommending it. That is there. So nice to hear from you, Mataji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, Aparna had her hands raised.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, sharing my realization. First of all, thank you so much for taking this initiative, right? And um, just sharing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita for ignorant souls like me.
I'm ignorant myself.
Yeah, we are all in that journey, but thank you for taking that lead, right? To um, you know, so that we get to know Krishna. So my realization is that I always believe, like, to love someone truly, we always need to understand how that person operates, or a full understanding, um, like, how does that person think, or what is the likes, dislikes, or to know about, that person's actual true nature characteristics. And I found this session, like, I used to love Krishna before this as well, but I never knew who is Krishna.
Hmm.
So for me, this session, this Philosophy Friday, which I was introduced by you yourself, so thank you for that. I got to know about Krishna. I don't know if I know, one lifetime is not enough to know Krishna, but I know a little bit about, like, what, like, who is Krishna, like, so that I can love him more,
Hmm.
and I can love him. I can offer my services to him with my full heart. Another thing, in this journey, um, my another greatest realization was uh, that I often got, I don't know, it was Krishna, um, put me into practical, like, scenarios. Like, apart from this session, like, I felt like as if whatever is going on, and I get to hear exactly what was needed on that day, exactly what was needed to hear. And that was so blissful, as if I felt like, someone, some mentor. And of course, it's through you. You are the medium. So thank you once again. And it's like, hearing the right words at the right time. And it's so wonderful to get to hear those at the right time. So that was one of those, like the goosebump moments, right? So I got those, and I'm really, really blessed. Um, Another thing I want to thank, I had never got any opportunity in my life prior to this to recite in Sanskrit. I remember 2 years back, my first session.
Hare Krishna. You got muted, I think, by mistake.
Not by mistake, I'm sorry. I just feel so overwhelmed. Um, Sorry. So yes, I just,
You got muted again.
yeah, I think I'm getting realization just now. So so I recited Bhagavad Gita first time, and I realized that I can actually recite Sanskrit.
Hmm.
So thank you so much. Thank you. And I continue to recite. Um, it's a beautiful feeling to recite Sanskrit. It's as if, uh, reading what Krishna's has spoken. And so thank you so much for bringing me closer to Krishna.
Thank you.
Aparna, we missed you and you recited so beautifully every time I remember. And we missed you when you were not here reciting those verses.
Absolutely. No, you're
Thank
so gifted with that recitation gift, as well as wonderful insights you've always shared. Thank you very much, Aparna. You have been a wonderful inspiration, throughout this. For me to also learn how to recite Sanskrit, because this is one of my weaknesses. I'm horrible at pronunciation, unless I know the verse. So it inspires me to also kind of focus on the words. And so thank you very much for sharing your realization, Aparna. And I hope you continue.
And thank you, Vibhuti Mataji.
I hope you continue with Shrimad Bhagavatam also. That'd be wonderful to hear you recite Shrimad Bhagavatam. Because when Krishna he's very humble. So he doesn't talk about himself much. So the Bhagavad Gita ended in 45 minutes, 700 verses. But then when devotees glorify Krishna, it is unending. So Shrimad Bhagavatam in the spiritual world or in the heavenly realms, they have lakhs and lakhs of verses. In the material realm, it is only 80,000 verses. So from 700 verses, now we're going to jump into 80,000 verses. And I'll need all the help that I can get in terms of reciting those verses, Aparna. So I would be most grateful if you do that service as we go through Shrimad Bhagavatam. It is great glory to just read those verses. Even having Shrimad Bhagavatam at home takes away all inauspiciousness, all fear, all kind of ghosts, all kind of negative impacts and all that, right? So what to speak of reciting Shrimad Bhagavatam, studying Shrimad Bhagavatam. We are most fortunate that we have this opportunity thanks to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, and his disciples, their disciples. So look forward to seeing you in the journey of Shrimad Bhagavatam as we go along. I'll come to Pradeep Prabhu and Prayash Prabhu shortly, but wanted to also tell you next week is very special. My mentor is going to give a lecture. Since Prayash requested, I requested him multiple times, and he agreed to speak combining Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana. Right, so he's going to speak next Friday. So after that Friday, we will start Shrimad Bhagavatam. So next Friday is going to be very, very amazing. He is submerged in Ram Bhakti and Krishna Bhakti. So hearing from him is something else. So I want to make sure you all come next Friday. Yes, Pradeep Prabhu, please go ahead, and then Prayash.
Prabhuji, I wanted to say that I said that lot many things have changed in my life after hearing Katha from you. What changes exactly are the impurities and negativities are getting removed. Means once in I read in a book of Prabhupada that he says that soul is our always pure. Our material impurities have मीन्स वहां पे मर्ड आ गया है उसके अंदर अब वो जैसे जैसे क्लियर हो रही है तो चीजें ऐसे क्रिस्टल क्लियर दिखने लग रही है तो वो एक बहुत अच्छा फायदा होता है इनसे
Fantastic, fantastic. I'm so happy, this hearing these positive statements make me realize that I am somehow doing this service in glorification of the Supreme Lord and his dear devotees. So my mentor would be very happy to hear that all of you are happy. So thank you very much for sharing such wonderful, realizations about the Bhagavad Gita. I feel most privileged that you're having this realization. Otherwise, I would feel like maybe my ego, my false, sense of proprietorship might have hindered the mercy from coming in. But hearing such wonderful realizations makes me realize Krishna is actually interacting in your life, and the words of the Bhagavad Gita are actually reaching you. So I'm most grateful that Krishna has, in spite of my lack of qualification, somehow or other Krishna has entered, the words of his, Supreme Lord has entered in your life. So that's so happy, so wonderful to see. I'm so grateful.
Prabhuji, it's your humbleness that you are saying this, but you are doing a great service. And the real knowledge पास करना बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज होता है. Real knowledge नहीं तो हर कोई अपना एडिशन कर ही देता है उसमें. यानी आप किसी को भी पूछो तो वो अननोइंगली या नोइंगली वो एडिशन कर देता है. तो रियल जैसे पास करना ये बहुत कमेंडेबल जॉब है. थैंकफुल आई एम थैंकफुल दैट यू आर विद अस.
Credit goes to my mentor for training me in such a way that never bring in your own opinions, your insights. It's always what is given by the previous acharyas, what is given by Krishna to Arjun. And I'm most grateful to him. Because of him, I am able to do this service. So my mentor is the best. And I hope all of you will be there to hear him next Friday. Prayash, please go ahead.
Prabhuji, I'd say three things. I mean, a lot of changes happened after I started reading Bhagavad Gita with your association, right? Three things I would share, I would want to share that I feel that would be the most prominent. First is the fear went away, like because of the knowledge that you have given us, and with, I mean, the shlokas and the purports that Prabhupada gave, like fear is not a factor anymore. Like fear is not even there. No, not like no kinds of fear is there, like because of the knowledge. And about death, because death is the most prominent thing people fear, that went away. I mean, that's the most first thing. The second thing is like emotional stability is there. Like even when my mom passed away, I was not that much moved, because I know like there, just the body is not there. And my family members got extremely like, it was like a wow factor for them, like how is this guy not moved? And I was playing with my niece, and they're like, my family was really like surprised by it, like how is this guy not moved? I mean, I told them like, this is coming from Bhagavad Gita. I know, like I know death, what is death, what comes after death. So it is not that like, of course I was in pain, and like I loved my mother the most in the whole world, right? But I mean, I was not moved.
Wow.
The third thing I would say is, I mean, I learned this from you. You once told me in Bhagavad Gita class that try to look for the hands of Krishna, like where the Krishna's touches are. And from that time, I started looking for Krishna's, touch, handprints, footprints in my life. And looking for that, I have like definitely not only received, I mean, not only noticed his, presence in my life, also as a side effect that made me extremely observant. And now the thing is like, that made me really, high in intuition. Like I right now, whatever happens, I just know sometimes before, like this is going to happen. For example, I'll tell you, in Vrindavan, you know, I might have offended you in some way. I just knew that you wanted to tell me something before you told me, right? I just knew it. And that has happened before some time also in the class, right? I accidentally did something I didn't intend to do, but I felt like something is off, right? Even though you didn't tell anything, I just knew that you wanted to tell me something. That's why I reached out and you told me like you need to fix this. And like that is the thing, right? That made me extremely observant, and I feel like that has increased my intuition as a side effect. I mean, other things could factor into this as well, but I feel like it's also coming from your teaching, your guidance, and also Bhagavad Gita learnings as well. So these three things I would say had the most highest level of impact in my life, and thank
Wow.
you for that.
Thank you so much, Priyashru. Thank you so much. I was not offended by you because I love you and I want you. It's my duty to correct because you've given me that privilege in your life. So it was more like I need to tell him this. I need to tell him this. I need to tell him
And
this.
I knew.
That's what
knew.
it was. It was not offense. It was not any kind of frustration or offense. It's just that he can be better than this. Let me give him this feedback. That's all. If it was somebody else, not my problem. I don't have to give feedback to anyone. But those who are close to me and look to me for helping them with their lives, I make it a point to make sure that I tell them. So that was that. It was not offense. But
I'm
thank you for
extremely,
sharing that.
I'm extremely grateful for giving me this place, this place in your life. So I'm extremely
Krishna is
happy and
amazing.
grateful.
Krishna is
And
amazing. Just imagine the fear of mother's death, right? Fear of our own death. When these are things that cripple us. Same thing, just like for your mother, same with my grandmother. I used to always be very scared living in America that one day I'll get the call that she has passed away. And that would just eat me from inside. That what am I doing here? I should be with her. But Krishna gave me the right time to come in, spend 6 days, last days, chant next to her constantly and transition her off to her next destination. And I felt so much that Krishna allowed me to be in fullest form with her so that no regrets later on, right? And uh, what else? I mean, that's miracle. Krishna is allowing us to get over the fear of death. I mean, nothing in this world can do that. Nothing. Only Krishna consciousness. And I'm so happy to see that is you've advanced so much that you've come to that point that you are equipoised in the face of such a difficult situation that most people would go through in their lives with horror and terror, but Krishna has held your hand through this process. I was very observant, during the Vrindavan Yatra, that how you're doing after your mother's passing away. But it was amazing to just see you involved in service, fully, cooperating with all the other devotees who are organizing and everything. So kudos to you. Very, very amazing to see that.
I mean, all glories goes to you, Prabhu, for guiding me. I'll also want to share one thing in from the morning of when my mother passed away, actually. So she was in ventilation, and what happened is the morning she passed away. She passed away around 10:30. At 7:30, she called me. So the phones are not allowed in the ICU. So she actually got some phone from some nurse, and she actually dialed my number. She reminded my like it was in her minds. I mean, she doesn't even remember numbers. She remembered my number, and she called me. And you won't believe, she spoke extremely well. Like it's a just normal person talking. Like you wouldn't even realize that this person is going to die in just another 2 3 hours, right?
Wow.
And she spoke very fluently, very clearly, very very well. And after, like, when we were hanging up the phone, she said Hare Krishna. and
Wow.
and that is like the moment she said that, I immediately knew this is the last conversation I'm having with her. I don't know why, but it turned out to be the last conversation I had with her. And 2 hours later, she passed away. So, but I'm really grateful that the last words she spoke to me is on the phone, the clear voice. She said Hare Krishna. So I'm grateful for
Well,
that.
that seals it for her. She's obviously in a very, very, very good place.
Yeah,
And all
that's why
glories
I'm
to you as
happy.
a son. You have done a great job as a son. That has happened. That is your success.
Yeah, thank you so much, bro. Without you, it would not have been possible. Thank
It's
you.
our disciplic succession. Same thing without my mentor, I wouldn't be there. That's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
Krishna has created the system. He's the credit all the way goes to him. All right. Thank you very much. This has been wonderful. So next week, my mentor will be there, and I look forward to seeing all of you. Ask a lot of questions. He is truly amazing. And then we'll start Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. And those of you who want to know the Bhagavad Gita and have not been able to get all the verses covered, Friday mornings at 7 a.m., I'm teaching Gita. So you're most welcome to join. We're in chapter 4 right now. Just message me and I'll give you the link and everything. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita
Hare
ki jai.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.